HMS Dreadnought was a ship built in 1905 that revolutionized naval warfare, led to a global arms race, and lent her name to every ship built around her concept. Hers would be the era of the Dreadnoughts. Though she was the first of her type to be completed, the British were not so ahead of the rest of the world that they were the first ones to have thought of this idea. Indeed, following the old proverb about $20 on the ground, other countries had also begun to pick up on the concept. Vittorio Cuniberte had the distinction of being one of the first to suggest an all-big gun battleship that was heavily protected and could move at higher speeds than any capital ship built before. The Royal Navy at the time was undergoing a radical change, being led by the infamous Admiral Sir Jackie Fisher, and he quickly saw the value of Cuniberte's idea. The concept of an all-big gun battleship meant that, unlike previous classes, which only usually carried 4 12-inch guns and a mix of medium and lighter weapons, the primary armament would only be made up of more 12-inch guns. This resulted from improvements in gunnery, which made the 12-inch gun far outrange the lighter weapons, which oftentimes didn't even get the chance to fire, and when they did, their splashes made adjusting for the following shot difficult, as it was almost impossible to tell the difference between a 12-inch splash and, for example, a 9.2-inch splash. The British had begun moving in the larger caliber direction with the upcoming Lord Nelson class, but Fisher recognized that these ships would not be enough as they did not have a unified main battery. Elsewhere, the Japanese were attempting to build a battleship with a unified 12-inch gun battery, but gun shortages made her more similar in the end to the Lord Nelson class. The Americans seemed to be the only ones truly on par with the British, but their construction of the South Carolina class was slow, and while they did introduce super-firing turrets, they stuck with the old reciprocating engines. The British then took a gamble and decided to incorporate more new technology with the Dreadnought, the steam turbine. Several years earlier, Charles Parsons had demonstrated the power of the turbine engine with his yacht, the Turbinia, and although it had been used in some recent destroyers, the turbine had yet to be placed aboard a capital ship. Interestingly, the government-subsidized ocean liners Lusitania and Mauretania of the Cunard Line were part of the test beds for this revolutionary technology. The gamble paid off. Dreadnought would be one of the fastest battleships ever built, and recognizing the importance of being first, Fisher used the British shipbuilding industry's long history of success to complete Dreadnought in record time, a year and a day. However, Dreadnought was a bit of a catch-22. She was the most powerful battleship in the world, yet in being such, she had reset the balance of naval power, where Britain only had a one-ship lead over the rest of the world. The subsequent arms race would see over 100 warships of this all-big gun design being built worldwide. However, as a result, by the time of the First World War, HMS Dreadnought had practically become obsolete as superior designs had far and away outclassed her. Dreadnoughts had been the symbols of nations, designed for a battle of apocalyptic proportions. Yet when the two fleets of dreadnoughts that were the largest in the world, the British and the German, clashed at the Battle of Jutland, the results were inconclusive, with neither side willing to risk losing everything. Dreadnought herself wouldn't even take part in this engagement, and after the war between the impoverished nations of the world struggling to return to an economic normal and the Washington Naval Treaty restricting the retention and construction of battleships, the majority of the great dreadnoughts went to the breakers' yards. Indeed, the term dreadnought died shortly thereafter, as fast battleships built during the 1930s made the older and slower ships all but a distant memory. It was a tragic and ironic end for the ships that had been built to rule the world, being finished by the strokes of pens and the wheels of technological change that had brought them into existence. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a suggestion in the comments if you want to see another video like this one.